and I want to welcome you to today's webcast. This session is the second session of the Make Great Products series. This series features presentations on relevant topics affecting Autodesk Inventor software users. Today we're scheduled to be with you from 12 to 1. Please feel free during the presentation to type your questions into the Q&A panel on the side of your screen. If we're unable to answer your questions during the webinar, go ahead and put them in, and we'll be happy to respond to you by email or phone after the webinar. But before the presentation begins, we'd like to administer a few poll questions. When you see the poll question appear on your screen, please select the most appropriate answer, and once the poll is closed, you'll be able to see the presenter's screen again. So we're going to go ahead and do those poll questions. And for those of you that log on to these webinars, you might recognize some of these questions. But first one is, how many people are viewing the presentation via this connection? We just want to get a good idea of how many people are actually on the webinar. A lot of people watching groups. So we'll leave it open for a few more seconds so everyone can get their votes in. Okay, we'll go ahead and close it. Looks like most people are watching by themselves. Okay, next question. Do you currently have a need to produce DWG files for customers, partners, or manufacturing? Looks like some of you say yes, DWG is our standard output. Well, we have a few people that have voted the second option. We create DWG files pretty regularly. Okay, we'll go ahead and close this one. And our last poll question for today is, do your vendors, suppliers, or partners provide you models from CAD platforms other than Autodesk? We've gotten quite a few yeses, yes all the time. Wait for a few more people to vote, and we'll go ahead and close it. We have one rarely, so most people are choosing yes on that one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that one. Thanks for your participation in that. After the survey, or after the webinar, there will be a survey that will pop up in a new window. Please take a few minutes to complete it if you have time. Your feedback is really important to us, and it helps us in planning our future events. And we'll ask for feedback on the webinar and ask for ideas and suggestions for future topics, because you guys have ideas, and we want to be able to present on things that you guys want to see. So please, if you have time, fill that out. Next, I'm going to talk about Rachel. She's on the call today. Rachel Smith is our manufacturing sales advisor. And I'm going to go over her bio, and then I'll go over Dave's bio. Rachel has spent 4 years with Inceptia as a sales advisor for the Autodesk manufacturing design product. She works closely with engineering and manufacturing companies to help solve their design to manufacturing workflow challenges. As a certified sales advisor, she has a vast knowledge of Autodesk products, as well as VIM, CAD, and digital prototyping workflows. And now a little bit about Dave. Dave is a technical advisor with over 22 years of solid experience providing consulting, training, technical support, and product support for the manufacturing, architecture, engineering, and construction disciplines. In his previous employment, he managed multiple manufacturing and architectural design projects and was an accomplished professor teaching CAD applications. He's an Autodesk certified instructor as well as a certified product support professional. He's also achieved Autodesk technical sales professional status for manufacturing design. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Dave to start our presentation.
Thank you, Mallory, and thank you to everyone who's in attendance today. We know that you've taken valuable time out of your schedule to be with us, and we hope that you'll find the information presented to be beneficial to your workflow. Autodesk believes everyone has the right to make great products. We believe that removing barriers will give everyone an equal chance to design, manufacture, and sell great products. We believe hurdles like expensive software, tools that don't communicate well, and the need for intensive IT support hold the majority back. These beliefs drove us to create solutions that are scalable, cost-effective, and open. If you want to make great products, then you need great tools and great partners. You've got two great partners in Autodesk and Inceptia. Autodesk's focus is on developing software that is designed to remove the barriers that hold you back from designing, manufacturing, and selling great products. This is known as Autodesk Digital Prototyping. Inceptia's focus is on helping you to access and integrate the right software solutions for your industry, training your users, and on implementation and product support services. Autodesk is a world leader in 3D design, engineering, and entertainment software. Since the introduction of AutoCAD more than 25 years ago, we've been helping you design, imagine, and create. If you've admired gorgeous architecture, watched an animated movie, played a video game, or held a manufactured product in your hand, there's a good chance Autodesk was involved in the process. Today, Autodesk is once again leading the industry by bringing your team digital prototyping solutions that are scalable, open, and cost-effective. From cloud-based tools to rental solutions, Autodesk removes the barriers to help you make great products. Our portfolio is the broadest and deepest in the industry. With Autodesk, you have access to leading-edge technology, regardless of industry or application. There are more than 10 million Autodesk customers at close to 1 million companies around the world. For over 27 years, Inceptia has been serving the needs of design firms across Texas and the rest of the U.S. In addition to being one of the premier Autodesk VARs in the U.S., Inceptia brings value to our clients through training, managed IT services, custom programming, and consulting. Our design product offerings serve all the major design industries, including building, infrastructure, fabrication, manufacturing, construction. And our services include training, managed IT, software support, consulting, software development, and certification testing. So we feel that with these two great partners, we're knocking down all the barriers that you might have when it comes to your design needs. The focus of today's technical demonstration will be to focus on the workflows that promote interoperability and the use of true DWG. We'll start our focus on true DWG. Drawing standards today for many manufacturers are based on AutoCAD and DWG. Autodesk Inventor allows you to continue to leverage your AutoCAD DWG files natively with support for the most current AutoCAD file format. Autodesk Inventor supports 100% fidelity with native DWG files for viewing, printing, measuring, and design reuse. Inventor allows you to leverage your legacy 2D drawings. Inventor drawings can be saved as a native DWG, or DWG can be set as the default. And only Autodesk Inventor provides 100% viewing and printing fidelity. And only Autodesk Inventor allows you to use the industry standard for 2D drawings, and that's AutoCAD DWG. So with that, let me pop on over to AutoCAD here. And what I'd like to do first is just take a look at an AutoCAD file. So we're going to go ahead and open up that file and take a look at this legacy data. So while this loads, what I'm going to be showing here is this swing arm from VMech. Basically what I'm going to do is just turn off a layer, freeze a graphic layer, don't need to see the graphics. And I want to be able to bring this data into Inventor. So first let's just take a look at what this data has. If I click on each of the components, you can see that it's a block reference. So each one has a name, and I'm able to see that this was really a well-crafted design. Everything's blocked out kind of by its subassembly and how the design would flow together in an assembly. So you can see each one is a block reference. So just having turned off the graphics, just going to keep that geometry out of the import. So I'll close that and save. And now let's pop over to Inventor. And what I'm going to do is create a new file, and I'm going to use the standard millimeter part file. And what I'm going to do is just start a 2D sketch. So in the 2D sketch, I'm going to select a plane so that I can actually import my AutoCAD data. So I've got to be in a sketch environment, bringing that AutoCAD data. And what I'm going to do is go to select that file that we just had open. So I select the file, I get a preview, I know it's the right file to look at, so I'm going to click Open, and then Inventor is going to open up the import dialog box and allow me to select what I want to import. And what I'm going to do is deselect all the layers except for the visible layer. I only want to bring in what's visible here. So I'm going to click Next. And what I want to do is I want to uncheck Constrain Endpoints, and I want to convert all the AutoCAD blocks to Inventor blocks. If you remember, we saw that in Inventor or in AutoCAD we had blocks. So I want to convert those. So I'll click Finish and let Inventor do its magic in the background, and we'll bring in all these blocks. So now you can see that I've been able to bring in all the AutoCAD blocks, and over here in the model browser you can see that the blocks are brought in. And then the next step I would do is save this file and give it a name so that I can refer back to it. What I'm going to do is just pop over to the file already saved. There's nothing done here. It just takes a few minutes. I don't want any dead time on the webinar. It just takes a couple of minutes to save it. So I come over here, and what we're going to do is go to the Manage tab, and we're going to click on Make Components. So in the Make Components dialog, I'm going to make sure that the template I use is also the metric standard millimeter. Okay, and then my target assembly name is going to be the IAM file. Now all I need to do is come over here under Sketch, and I can Shift select all of the AutoCAD blocks, and I'm going to make components out of them. So I'll click Next, and you can see I get a dialog box here for the components and what they'll be named and how they'll come across in the bill of materials structure. So I'm just going to click OK. So now what you'll see is the actual assembly, and here are all the parts and subassemblies in the model tree. So what I'm going to do is just hit the home button here so you can see that they're all brought in. So now what I want to do is start constraining. So I'm just going to zoom in and start taking a look at some of this geometry. So I'm going to grab this little component right here and just drag it out. And what I want to do is start constraining this geometry, and this is all in 2D. I haven't done anything in 3D at this point. I'm just bringing in the blocks, going to start building this and looking at it from just a 2D perspective at this point. So now I'm going to constrain, and I'm going to start constraining this geometry. So now, once I got the one constraint, I can see that I can move things around and drag it. I'm going to constrain again. And basically, I'm just going to go through and continue to constrain the elements that I need. Okay, so going a little further down the line, you can see that as big of an assembly as this is, a lot of components, it's going to take us a little while to do some constraining. So what we'll do is we'll pop on over to version 1 of this file, where we basically have constraints set up here. So what I want to do is simply just let you see the motion of how the constraints work once they're all placed. So we can click and start to drag and see the motion of this component still in 2D. No 3D work has been done. So we've been able to leverage that existing 2D AutoCAD data and bring it into Inventor and see how it's going to work and get an idea of functionality. So you can see that you can do that. So what we'll do now is pop on over to the second iteration, where we've done some modeling work. We've got some modeling work in, and the design is starting to take shape. And we still got some 2D components in here. So you can see it's kind of what we call a hybrid environment at this point. Still have some 2D components, and we have some 3D components. So I'm going to rotate my view, take a look, and again you can see we've adjusted constraints as we've needed to as we've done some designing, and we can just click and drag and see the components move. So you can see we've got cylinder, the pivot joints, and everything works like it's supposed to. So basically, this is how we leverage that existing legacy 2D data from AutoCAD and bring it into Inventor. You have the option, obviously, to use this data to actually extrude and revolve, use your 3D Boolean operations to create your geometry from the 2D components. So we're using that existing data. We're not having to redraw anything. All right, so let's pop back to the presentation here. And let's talk about interoperability. So global manufacturing demands increased data exchange amongst suppliers, customers, and other stakeholders. Autodesk Inventor supports a greater number of proprietary and neutral file formats, eliminating design sharing and data reuse challenges that you face today. Inventor supports more native competitive CAD file formats than any other 3D modeler. Inventor also supports a number of neutral file formats. You can import non-Inventor assembly files directly into an assembly without the need to translate. Inventor has powerful direct editing tools that allow you to edit virtually any model. Simply push, pull, or drag your geometry to where you need them to be. And Inventor also allows you to save in a number of native and neutral file formats. So the benefit here is that you're able to work with teams that are outside your organization, vendors, clients, whoever that may be funneling either neutral CAD neutral file formats or proprietary CAD formats to be incorporated in the design, so you can utilize those. So let's take a look at that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open up a file. And in this case, what I want to do is open up a proprietary CAD model or assembly file. So I'm just going to browse to the directory that I want. And then I'll select the file that I want. What you'll notice while I'm browsing around here is under the files of type for Inventor, you've got your standard Autodesk Inventor files, IAM, DWG, IDW. If you click in that drop-down list, you can see a plethora of CAD formats that Inventor can open up. So CATIA V4 and V5, DXF files, IDF board files, CAD neutral formats like IGES and SAT and STEP, and then of course we've got the proprietary ones, Pro Engineer, SolidWorks, and so on, Parasolid. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to select SolidWorks files as the type of file, and you'll see in this list now it starts showing all of the SolidWorks files that I have. So I'm going to select the proper assembly. This is a SolidWorks assembly file that I want to open up in Inventor. So I'll click Open. We'll give that a minute. That's a decent size assembly. It's not huge, but it takes a couple minutes. Inventor does its magic in the background and basically converts those SolidWorks part files and assembly files. And you'll see when it pops up that there's sub-assemblies. It's going to keep that data structure that was part of the original design and allow you to utilize it as is. So it does its magic in the background, and you can see here now we have the overturning mechanism as a .iam file. So it's an Inventor assembly file, and then we've got in the structure here in the model, you can see we've got the assembly structure and the sub-assembly structures. So all the parts and assemblies are here. So very robust. So now what I want to do is I want to be able to utilize this data. How do I use it? What can I do to it? Well, the one thing we don't have at this point is we don't have the data history. That's not available to us yet in today's market. So it's a base solid, basically. It's just a part. It doesn't have any drawing history to it. But I can still manipulate it. So what I want to do is come over here and I want to lengthen this rod. I want to take this rod out and lengthen it. So I'm just going to double click on this subassembly and then double click on this part. Now what I'm going to do is use this great tool right up here called Direct Edit. And I'm going to click on it and I'm going to select this face to Direct Edit. And I've got some options for excuse me. Sorry about that. I got some options for sizing and rotating or move. And move is what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is start dragging on that arrow. And you can see that I can dynamically resize that. But what I want to do is I actually want to snap that to the edge of this plate. So I get a message from Inventor telling me that yeah, you're going to snap to the plate, but it's not associative. So there's not going to be any associativity, but yeah, we will honor that constraint. So I click OK to that and click the plus sign. And now, as I rotate around, you'll see that those bars, because they're the same part, mirrored, is now stretched to the end plate. So that's great. So I'm going to hit return. And take a look at another part, maybe this plate over here. Maybe I need it to cover the rest of this assembly here, so I'll just double click on that plate and kind of do the same thing here. I'm just going to click down on the level there for that part, go to the Direct Edit. I'm going to select that face, And again, I'm going to move. And I can just free drag it, or I can use my snap to feature and snap it to that end plate. So now it covers those rods. So now I have the full extension of the plate. So let's return back out, and then maybe the last thing I want to do is come in here, and maybe I need to shrink this. Maybe I need to make this mount here a little low profile for what I'm going to attach to that within my Inventor assembly. So again, I'll double click on that part, go to the direct edit, and this time I'm just going to drag it down a little bit. So I'm doing a negative face extrusion here, bringing it down, and then maybe I need to also select this face. Maybe it needs to be lengthened a little bit. So again, I'm just dynamically dragging those, and I can actually put an exact amount in here. You can see that now we've manipulated that part. So this assembly, again, reiterating, is brought in from a proprietary format of SolidWorks. I'm able to maintain the assembly structure in the model browser, and I'm able to use the direct edit function to go through the model and make any edits that I need to. And at this point, then I can start actually adding, bringing in, or I could have already had into an assembly file. I could have brought this assembly into an already existing Inventor assembly and added it to it. So you get the functionality of being able to use these proprietary packages and bring them into Inventor and mix them with your Inventor data. All right, so let's talk about the last part here. So if your drawing standards are built upon AutoCAD DWG, you can continue to document your designs the way you always have with AutoCAD Mechanical. With purpose-built 2D detailing tools for mechanical design, AutoCAD Mechanical gives you the power to create associative drawings of Inventor 3D models using the same workflows that you're familiar with. AutoCAD Mechanical is a purpose-built mechanical detailing tool, and it provides tools specific to mechanical detailing. You can create your 2D views directly inside of AutoCAD Mechanical, creating a native DWG. And AutoCAD Mechanical files are fully associative, so when your assembly models or models update, your AutoCAD Mechanical files update as well. And only Inventor allows you to choose the right tool to do your mechanical details. So let's take a look at that. So what I want to show you is in Inventor here, a part that's been modeled. It's a we'll call it a leg extension. It's an aftermarket helicopter leg extension part, and so I want to show that to you. And basically this data, I pulled this from an old job that I did a long time ago, and let's see if I find it here. Oh, here's why I can't find it. Make sure you change your files of type back to your Inventors so that you can find what you're looking for. So, like I said, this was from a job that I did a long time ago. And what I was able to do was open up these AutoCAD files of the part and utilize the geometry to create this leg extension. So we'll take a look at this for a second. You can see it's a pretty simple part. It's got some mounting holes where it mounts to skid in the helicopter, and it's got chamfer inside. Pretty simple. And then it's got a painted surface except for those areas where there's contact with the other parts. So what I just want to show you here is when you look at this initial revolution and we click Edit Sketch, okay, this sketch was brought in from the AutoCAD drawing. So all I did was use the AutoCAD import, bring that in, and I just revolved that outside feature, and then from there created the hole. So I was able to basically recreate the geometry or use the AutoCAD data to create this. All right, so let me swap over here to AutoCAD Mechanical. And what I've got here is a drawing file that's got my page setup already done on it. It's got my AutoCAD title block. Everything that you see here is AutoCAD legacy data. So this is like nearly 20 years old AutoCAD data that I've brought forward. So you know, you've got, in this case, I've got bill of materials that were blocks, attributed blocks, and I've got my revision status, and I've got notes. And again, this is all AutoCAD based, so this is M-text here, so it's really familiar to me. It's easy to use, and I can utilize that. So what I want to do in Mechanical now is I want to swap over to this Layout tab, and I'm going to create a base view, and I'm going to select from Inventor. And then what I'm going to do is select that model that I created and click Open. So now what I'm able to do is see that Inventor model file within my AutoCAD. Now I just want to go ahead and set some scale options. So I'll set that to 1 inch equals a foot. And then I can specify options for, do I want hidden lines, visible and hidden lines, or just visible lines? Do I want it to be a shaded model? So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on hidden lines. And I'm just going to go ahead and place that. Okay. And then I'm going to click OK. And I'll just right mouse click and basically end the command, and there is my 2D view of my Inventor data. So now the next thing is I want to start using those familiar tools to me in AutoCAD to start doing some detailing. So I'm going to go over to the Create View, and I'm going to do a section view first of all. I'm going to do a full section, and I'm going to select this view. But I'm just going to, even though I'm doing a full section, I'm just going to do this much of it. I'm just going to go from here, maybe down to here. And this is, you'll notice that if you're familiar with Inventor's drawing tools, this is done in much the same way. So once I create that view, I'm able to create that section view and start doing some detailing. One of the next tools that I want to use is I'm going to come over to the Home button here, and I'm going to add in some centerline cross with a hole. So I'll select that. I'll select the center point, and then maybe that's not the one I wanted. I think that's the one I wanted. Okay, so I can start creating these center marks for these holes. And I just basically find the center point, and AutoCAD is going to start putting in the center marks for me. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go over to the Annotate command, and I'm going to start doing some dimensions. So I'm going to go here and do a vertical dimension. select an endpoint, say I want to go to the center, and then I'm going to place it. So what I want to do is just make this a basic dimension. So while I'm in the dimensioning tool, hit the basic dimension, close the editor. Now, while I'm still in this dimensioning command, I can do another dimension. Or actually, I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to do a continue dimension from that. So just by selecting the dimension and hovering over a point, I can do a continue dimension and bring that dimension down. And you can see that I'm going to be able to continue dimensioning to mark these hole locations. So using these familiar AutoCAD tools, I'm able to manipulate and detail out my AutoCAD or my Inventor drawings. Let's go down here and do another one. We'll do an angle. You can see here everything works just like you would expect it to. And let's do an overall dimension. And there we go. So now I'm going to do a zoom all here so we can look at it. We can see this drawing's taking shape. Everything's looking good. These holes here, you can see by the size, they're small holes. What I want to show you is the interoperability between Inventor and AutoCAD Mechanical. So I'm going to save this file. And I'm going to close out. And I'm going to go back to Inventor, and I'm going to edit those holes. So I'll edit that feature. I'm just going to change those holes, make enough of a change here to make it so you can see it. So we'll make them 1/2 inch so they're significantly bigger. We'll save that. And now we'll go back to AutoCAD. And then we will see the update. And we did not see the update. Why did we not see the update? I think I may have a different file in there. I may have copied the file from another directory, so that may be what it is. I may have a different file in here. But basically what you would see is you would see the update, and through the magic of live television, I messed something up here, but it will update. So kudos to me. Anyway, so basically, let me just kind of show you a drawing that's further along that has some more detail done to it, all done in AutoCAD Mechanical. So and there we go. See, that's got the right one in it. See, the hole's updated here. So now that's all updated. So that's basically how you would utilize your AutoCAD and your Inventor if that's what you're based on. If you don't have that standard set up for DWG, then obviously you continue to use Inventor's workflow and create IDW files. But you have this ability to utilize your AutoCAD legacy data. Then you also have the ability in AutoCAD Mechanical to continue to develop and detail your designs. And then you also have the ability to bring in CAD neutral and proprietary CAD formats. So this concludes the technical demonstration. I'm going to pass it over to Rachel for a few minutes to talk about how Inceptia can help you be more productive, win more business, and make great products. Rachel?
Thank you, Dave, so much. I appreciate all your time and effort that you put into the webinar this afternoon. Today, Dave showed you some examples on how to bring in the legacy AutoCAD as well as to use the neutral formats for the different formats and how it will help you in your design and manufacturing processes. This is all specific to how you would use the software with your specific business. Next slide. Then the next thing I would like to just remind you, we do we would love the opportunity to come out and do a business process assessment with y'all just to see what kind of opportunities that we would be able to see for you. The assessment would be to try to understand your business objectives and to understand your processes. After the completion of the assessment, we would, of course, present to you your results and then recommend you to use some changes that would be helpful in helping you with your workflow processes and to making things better for you. Next thing I'd like to talk to you about is of course, the subscription that you all have with your software and how the reason why we're highly recommending that you maintain your subscription because of the new policy that Autodesk is going to be implementing come February 1st where no upgrades will be possible. Maintaining your subscription is very important. With subscription, of course, you're always going to have the upgrades to the latest and greatest software, your cloud capabilities, flexible license rights, and the basic tech support. We will also, come February 1st, well actually right now you can still do it. There are two ways to purchase new licenses if you have the need to. Of course you can purchase your perpetual licenses, which is software that you will always have as long as it's compatible with your software. And then what they're going to be introducing is what we call desktop subscription, which is in a short-term rental software. This is software that you're going to be able to use like on a project-based term. You may just be having a project that will come up that you're only going to need a specific software for maybe a year. So the desktop subscription would come in perfectly for you. It's a lot less up front, and you still do get the basic tech support. Next slide. And then, of course, I want to remind you that we do offer training. We have some of the highest scoring technical advisors in the U.S. All of our tech advisors have taught at AU. In fact, Dave just taught at AU this past year, and he did a class on Vault. So if any of you are interested in Vault, do not hesitate to give us a call. We would love the opportunity to speak with you about that. With the training, if the software is something new to you, whether it be Inventor, Vault, AutoCAD Mechanical, AutoCAD, Revit, whatever, if you're not familiar with the software, the training will allow you to get all the value out of the software and be able to use it to its full extent. We also offer classroom training as well as advanced training for fundamental and advanced classes. We also can customize a class specific to how you would use the software. We do have offices in San Antonio, Austin, and in Dallas. We're also looking into the ability to do virtual classes, especially if you have someone maybe outside of Texas that would want the training. If this is something that would be of interest to any of y'all, please let me know, and we will keep you up to date on when that will be able to go, when we'll be able to offer that. If there's anything that we can assist with at any time, whether it be tech support, consulting, customized training, or just the basic fundamental training and or IT services, do not hesitate. We're here to assist you in any way that can make your business stronger and better. At this time, the presentation is finished. If you all have any questions, of course, do not hesitate to call either Dave or I. We would be more than happy to assist in any way that we can. If any of you are interested on on-site visits, of course, we can do that as well. Do not hesitate to call us. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a great afternoon. Mallory, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, thanks, Rachel. I do not see any questions right now. So like Rachel said, just email us or call us if you have any questions. And I'll go ahead and end the webinar, and we thank everyone for attending today. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you all.